Hello there everyone, welcome back to the channel. I will straight away apologise for the lighting. Hopefully this is just a one-off. The light's broken and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully this is a one-off, and hopefully the next time you see me in here, it will be all good and all fixed. I'll be going through the round 46 championship fixtures and predicting every single one of them, because this division is crazy, and the implications and the permutations going into this final day is also crazy, and we'll be having a look at every single fixture, some more relevant than others, the relegation battle, the playoff battle, the league title, all to play for, all very open, and all going down to the wire, and I'll be having a look at all those permutations and possible outcomes as a result of my predictions as well. We'll start with the less relevant games and kind of look at them as a bunch, just to get through them. Really, we'll go to Watford first, where they play Sheffield Wednesday at Vicarage Road. They're joint to the hip in the league table. Watford can overtake them to go into the top half with a win. I think Sheffield Wednesday and Watford have both had pretty good seasons, and both managers have done pretty well in their jobs, but they have fallen off quite a bit. Both were really sort of in the middle of a playoff race for large proportions of the season. They've fallen off. Watford have lost 4 in a row. They've won just one game in 8. Sheffield Wednesday have also fallen off really badly, and they've been much better away from home than they have been at Hillsborough. I can see this being fun. I can see this being open, loose. I'm going to go 2-2 to start off with at Vicarage Road. We'll go to Sunderland, where Sunderland play QPR at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland have been in dismal form recently. 5 games without a win, 4 defeats in a row, one of them being at Ashton Gate. I was actually quite impressed with them, with them being down to 10 men. QPR, we all know the situation there. Martin Fuentes is going. They've been in really poor form. They've just been hammered at Burnley. They'll just want the season to be over with, and this is not a nice game, really. Sunderland will want momentum going into the playoffs. Regis Labris has talked about, going into playoff mode and stuff like that. I think Sunderland will win their final game before going into that playoff game. Whoever they play, finishing in 5th. I think Sunderland will win this tight. I think it'll be narrow, but I think Sunderland will win by 2-1. We go to Swansea, where Swansea play Oxford at the Swansea.com Stadium. Oxford have survived. They've not got anything to play for in the good sense going into the final day. What a job Gary Rowett has done. They confirmed it after a 2-0 win at home against Sunderland, funnily enough. And they'll go into this game with confidence, obviously, but they've just tended to skew a lot better at home at the Kissan than they have done away from home. I think it's going to be tough for Oxford to get something in this game, especially considering there's a lot of good feeling at Swansea. Alan Sheehan's got the permanent job. There's going to want to be a good send-off for both Carl Norton and Joe Allen. I think Swansea will get the job done at the Swansea.com Stadium at home, where they've been very good and they've been in really good form. And mathematically, they were kind of in the playoff race up until they lost at the Den last time out. I think Swansea will win by 2-0 and keep a clean sheet as well to end the season off. Norwich versus Cardiff is the less relevant game. I put that in very, very loose terms. It is a relegation for Cardiff. The only thing they can play for is not finishing bottom of the league, and they'll be hoping for a favour from Leeds from that perspective. They've been dismal. The change of manager, the Hail Mary really has not worked in terms of chucking Aaron Ramsey in there. They go to a Norwich side who've just got a good point away at Middlesbrough. They'll want to end the season well, going into next season, potentially Jack Wilshere in as permanent manager. It is Jack Wilshere versus Aaron Ramsey in the dugout, which is just wild to me. But I think Norwich, with their goal power, they're pretty good at Carrow Road, relatively good. I think they'll win by 3-1 with Sainz, Sargent, Marcondes, Cianach, all of those kind of very exciting attacking players. I think Norwich will score 3. I think their defence, still a lot to be desired, which is why they're in this position in the first place, and they're probably going to finish in the bottom half of the Championship. Might not do, but yeah, I'm going to go Norwich 3, Cardiff 1. I think there's scope for Cardiff to score. We'll go next to Home Park, where Plymouth play Leeds. Mathematically, it's still possible for Plymouth to survive in the Championship. Theoretically, it's very, very, very difficult to see them win 14-0 and hope for favours elsewhere, and they'll have to beat a Leeds side who are rampant at Ellen Road just the other day against my side, Bristol City. I think it's going to be really difficult for Plymouth to even win this game. I think it's going to be nigh on impossible if to stay up. I think Leeds are a machine, and I think they'll get the job done at Home Park and probably confirm the title. I'm going to go Plymouth 1, Leeds 3, even though Plymouth's home form has been pretty good under Miron Muselich recently. We'll go into the relegation battles, which is properly sort of on and really heated. We'll start at the Hawthorns, where West Bromwich Albion, who've got nothing to play for, play Luton, who have been in really, really good form recently. They're on the back of 3 consecutive wins, 2 of them against playoff chasing sides in Bristol City and Coventry, and then one of them a direct head-to-head at Pride Park, where they beat Derby by a goal to nil. They're in really good form. They're playing a side with not a lot to play for, who have completely fallen off a cliff themselves as well. What did West Brom do last time? They drew away at Cardiff, and that's a mere result. I don't see West Brom having a lot of confidence. I don't see them particularly exerting themselves. I think Luton are going to be right up for it. And I think they'll get the job done. I think I'm going to go for West Brom 0, Luton 1. And that would definitely guarantee safety for Luton. If that was true, that would mean Luton move up to 52 points. That would mean they overtake both Derby and Stoke, obviously before they play each other, which is just mouth-watering at Pride Park. It is probably the biggest game this game week. It is so decisive. However, there is a situation where if Derby and Stoke are drawing, and maybe 1 or 2 of the teams below them are not winning their games and can't do the overtake on both teams, they might well both settle for the draw. And John Eustace and Mark Robbins wouldn't put it past them particularly either. I think Derby and Stoke might well get to a situation where one of the teams below them is losing, so none of them can be overtaken in terms of into 22nd. I think they might well play for the draw. And I think I'm going to go for Derby 1, Stoke 1. I can see the Derby win. I can see a narrow Derby win. And they've been okay in terms of head-to-heads. They won that big head-to-head at Hull, which has dropped Hull into the relegation zone, hasn't it? I just can't see Stoke going there to that cauldron, which will be Pride Park. It'll be noisy, it'll be rampant, it'll be right behind Derby. I just can't see Stoke going there and winning. I can see a narrow Derby win, but I think with all things considered and potential, thinking ahead in terms of state of play, I think it might be a draw, and I think both teams will settle for that. We go to Fratton Park, which is probably the game in terms of setting the scene for this relegation battle, because if Hull go to Pompey and are 2-0 down within 10 minutes and are losing comfortably, there is no relegation battle, really. The only thing that matters is what order the teams above Hull, maybe even below Hull, maybe even above Plymouth, finishing it in. So ultimately, Hull have to go to Pompey for there to be any sort of drama, to be any sort of exciting craziness, championship stuff. There's going to have to be a result for Hull at Pompey. That's not going to be easy, considering Pompey have one of the best home records in the Championship. They are a very, very, very good side at Fratton Park. They've confirmed safety, which is obviously the main sort of objective, would have been the main objective for them going into this season. I think it's going to be really difficult for Hull to go there and win. I can see them going there and putting in a bit of a defensive masterclass with Sellers and keeping it nice and tight and keeping it all very below deck and stifling that Pompey attack without Lang as well. I just can't see them winning, though. I just can't see them winning. A draw might well do it with the goal difference for Hull. I just can't see them winning at Fratton Park. And John Messinho and Pompey don't strike me as a sort of team that's going to just level off going into the final game just because they're safe. They got a point at Hillsborough, not an easy job. Even in League One last season, they went away to Lincoln, who were playoff chasing Lincoln. I know they lost at home to Wigan, but they went to playoff chasing Lincoln and won 2-0. So they're not a team that usually lets off a hell of a lot. I'm going to go for the 0-0 draw at Fratton Park, which might or might not be enough for Hull. But if Hull win, definitely safe because of the head-to-head at Pride Park. We'll quickly switch our attention to the playoff battle, because there is a game which involves both playoffs and the relegation battle, which we'll talk about at the end, and it's quite convenient on my side anyway. We'll go to the CBS, which is another head-to-head in the playoff battle between Coventry and Middlesbrough. Coventry's home record is outstanding. Middlesbrough have to win to do the overtake. Coventry can draw and get in there. Is that likely? Possibly. Maybe. But they'll not want to be relying on that. Middlesbrough win, they do the overtake on Coventry. Coventry are definitely out of the playoffs if that occurs, and they could finish as low as ninth, I think, possibly. So it's going to be really difficult for Middlesbrough to go there and win because of the home record I just mentioned. They've got the ability, Borough, haven't they, to just turn it on with Azaz, Conway, Whittaker, Bergs, Orgeling Jr., all those good attacking players who individually can produce moments, but collectively the system just isn't working at the moment for Middlesbrough. I can't see them going there and winning at the CBS, honestly. I think that's going to be, again, similar to what I mentioned about Derby, I think it's going to be a cauldron. Most of these stadiums are, to be fair. I think it's going to be a really noisy place. And Middlesbrough, we know they're a bit flaky there. We know they can fall apart a little bit easily. I saw that firsthand at Ashton Gate, where they crumbled under a little bit of pressure at Bristol City. I can't see Middlesbrough going there and winning. I can see them going there, taking the lead, and then maybe conceding twice and losing the game. A win for Coventry, they're in the playoffs because of the goal difference. I can't see Millwall going to Burnley winning by whatever they would need to, a large margin. If Coventry win 2-1, Millwall will have to win 6-0 at Burnley. And I'm going to go for a 2-1 Coventry win. We'll turn our attentions to Bramall Lane, where Sheffield United play Blackburn. Blackburn are in 8th at the moment. They're 1 point behind Coventry. They're 2 points behind Bristol City. Blackburn have to win. If Blackburn don't win, they can't finish in the top 6. They could overtake Millwall, but again, irrelevant really in the bigger context of things. From my perspective, from a Bristol City perspective, if Millwall and Blackburn both fail to win, they can't be overtaken. I think that will mean Bristol City in the top 6. I think. However, Blackburn, this game is interesting. Because Sheffield United are not in a title race. They might well ease off. They might make a few changes. I know Ben Brereton Diaz is not available. Chris Wilder kind of hinted at it a little bit. But Blackburn have to win. Can I see them going to Bramall Lane and winning? I can't see it. It's just so difficult. They've won 4 in a row. They've been really good. Sheffield United didn't look like they were that much sort of off their normal performance standards against Stoke. I think there might be goals. I think Blackburn will score. I think there'll be a threat. But I think Sheffield United have got enough as well. I'm going to go 2-2 and a Desmond up at Bramall Lane, which would mean Blackburn can't overtake and get into the top 6. A game which links both the title race and the top 6 battle, where Burnley play Millwall at Turf Moor. Burnley will be hoping for a favour from Plymouth, even if that's a draw because of the goal difference. It's nasty in Leeds United's favour. Burnley, unbelievable job. We could very well have a situation where both Leeds and Burnley finish on 100 points, and the fact that one of them won't win the league, very well could not win the league, despite finishing on 100 points, is utterly ludicrous. And the fact that Sheffield United could miss out on automatic promotion altogether, despite accumulating 92 if they win against Blackburn, is also ludicrous. Massive props to all those teams who have been outstanding all season. Burnley, though, they are facing a team of Millwall who have got everything to play for. They've won twice in a row. They're right bang at it, and they're gonna face a tough test. But again, the energy, the sort of determination, the drive we saw from Burnley at QPR, winning 5-0 at QPR is just crazy. Again, I can't see Millwall going there and winning either. I think Burnley's clean sheet record, their unbeaten record, all at stake for Scott Parker. That means a lot to their team and to their defence. I think Burnley are going to win, and I think they'll win by a solitary goal. I think it'll be Burnley 1, Millwall 0. Right, the final game, the most relevant game probably for me, for probably most people watching this. Bristol City are home to Preston. How are the nerves? They're fine for the moment. Probably going to be a little bit different when I wake up tomorrow morning. I am both dreading it. I'm very, very excited. It's fluctuated. There've been so many permutations that have gone into my head. There've been so many sort of possibilities and sort of things that could go wrong, things that could go right. What's it going to be like at Ashton Gate tomorrow? Hopefully, it's as noisy as it has been recently. Anyway, we're going to face a Preston side who are going to be bang at it. They're going to be wanting to right the wrongs. They're going to be a Paul Heckingbottom less Preston side because he's suspended, so he's not going to be on the touchline. So Stuart McCall will take the reins on the touchline for Preston. If this was game week 23, I'd be very confident Bristol City can get the job done. Game week 46 can cause upsets, can cause problems for sides that are probably favourites, and Bristol City are favourites in this game. I think, well, my predictions, if my calculations are right, I've just done this off the top of my head. It would, no matter what happens at at Turf Moor and at Bramall Lane, if those results come in, Bristol City in the top 6, even if Middlesbrough win. So I just have this feeling it'll be a lot like the games we've had recently at home, where it's going to be very tight. I think we have to make a quick start, won't we? I think we'll have to use that energy initially created by the crowd, the atmosphere. We're going to have to use it quickly. We're going to have to use it effectively. I have faith in this team. There's so many injury problems at the moment, especially in that back line. No Cameron Pring, no Luke McNally, no Mark Sykes. Looks like no Joe Williams or Scott Twine. It's a bit of a mess. There's injury problems everywhere. No Harry Cornick, obviously, as well. So there's another option in the forward line gone. Player who's actually scored this season as well. I just have a feeling, though, that the adrenaline and the sort of pumped up energy, and what this might mean for Preston, by the way, could be pretty brutal and pretty fatal for Preston. I think we'll win 2-1. That might be a little bit optimistic. A draw might well do it. Might not do it for 5th, might well do it for 6th, because that would mean Middlesbrough definitely can't catch us. That would require Millwall and Blackburn. Again, Blackburn definitely have to win. Millwall probably definitely have to win because of the goal difference. I just have a feeling we'll get the job done. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But that would mean Bristol City confirmed 5th, confirmed in the top 6, and we'll be playing Sunderland in the playoffs. Let me know your predictions down in the comment section below. I will leave with one final message. If this is the end in terms of Bristol City, it's been a pleasure covering City again for a season. It's been fantastic. The channel's grown from strength to strength again, and it's been great covering Bristol City. The club I love, and to do it is just fantastic. I'm so passionate about this, and it's fantastic. To see your support. The Leeds review, despite it being pretty grim on the day, was fantastic. Again, we got a lot of comments, a lot of supports, and a lot of sort of positive messages, especially from Leeds United fans, which is fantastic as well. And hopefully, next season it keeps growing. Hopefully, there's more content on Bristol City in terms of playing football matches in the near future after tomorrow. I will say, if you're going to Ashton Gate tomorrow, you're a Bristol City fan, make the most of it. Completely make the most of it. Enjoy the occasion. Leave 100% out there. That's the players, that's the manager, the coaching staff. It's probably a lot, crucially, the fans in the stands as well. The Atio, halfway open for City fans. We have to get behind them. They've deserved it. The players, the managers, they've deserved it. We need to give one final push, and that could mean the world to this football club. It would certainly be if it happened. This Bristol City, definitely in the realms of possibility that they can't. It would be one of my best days supporting Bristol City, and it would be a memory that would last with me for a long, long, long time. Hopefully that is the case, and hopefully we get the job done. I'll see you tomorrow for what will be a very different looking me, and a very, hopefully my heart rate isn't too dangerously high either, and hopefully I'm not a hell of a lot nervous. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Keep safe, and I'll catch you all later. Catch you all later tomorrow. Cheers.